People panic about their first job. They think, is this role, is this my first job going to decide my entire future, my whole career? Let's see. Let's talk about this in this video, because this is one of the questions that is asked to me when I interact with the students, early career professionals, and this is one of the questions and the fear that I see in a lot of the questions that come in. And let's see if this is true, because I personally, I also remember that I had gone through this phase. I also thought when I was going through my first job that I don't like this job. This is not something that I signed up for, right? I studied my entire life for getting a job that I wanted, and this is something that I have to go for now. And I felt, no, I don't think I like this. and but then there was no other option. Like, I have this job. If I don't take this job, then I don't have other option, right? Like, there is no other option that I'm going to get a different job. So I felt when people are asking me that question, when I'm interacting with them, this is a good topic to talk about in this video. And what I talk about when I'm trying to answer this is just look at the people who are doing great today, like, who are doing really well today. The managers, the leaders, the the professionals who are doing great today currently in their life. So they are working in global companies, Fortune 500 companies, in the dream roles that you're looking for, and just look at where they started. It's not that all of them had their first job where they wanted to go. It's not in the same kind of niche or same kind of a profession or the domain that they wanted to move ahead with. That there were random jobs. Many of them, if you had seen them, they have done random jobs and then they made it big. So if you look at it, it's not that they had it all figured out on their first job itself. It's not that. So if you think that, oh, I got this job, what I can do now because there is no other option and I'm stuck here. No, you are not stuck. What changes are required to be done so that even though you are starting with your first job and you are not going to get stuck there is something that I have learned through my career, and I would like to share that because there are few things that I wish I had known, right? So I would like to talk about 4 truths, I would say, that I wish I knew in my first job when I started long back. I would like to share those because I wish someone had told me those 4 truths which are there. The first one is your first job only gives you some starting point. It's just like an entry point. It's not your potential. Like, it's not something that this job is as per my potential and this is what I'm going to be doing for my entire life. No, that is not the case. Just think of it on these lines. You started with your corporate career, but you have been studying for your entire life. You studied. I mean, we get so much better in our student life that I know people have their exams tomorrow and then within one day, like they have just one day and able to study and then crack that exam tomorrow. If you have done that, a thumbs up, give a thumbs up to this, because I know I have done it. Like, you have exam tomorrow, you have not studied for the entire time and you just have a day, you slog it out in that day and you're able to clear that exam next day. But you are accustomed to doing all these things. But corporate setup works differently. Just think of it. They have different rules, different ways. You need the skills. You have a lot of them that you have learned during your academics. But there are a lot of skills that you need to learn during your job, like, on the job training that you get. So if you don't have that experience, definitely it's difficult. So the first job you are going to get would not be a great one. Would not be, I'm saying you can get, right? But would not be the great one. It may happen that it's not your dream job, but don't think that this is what my potential is. No, it is not your potential. You can definitely grow bigger than what you are doing in your first job. And I have seen a lot of people, I can say a lot of people who started random jobs and now they are doing big roles in big companies, big global companies as well. So you don't have to feel, and I wish I had known this when I was kind of looking at my first job. The second thing is your first 2 years when you are starting out in your career, in your job, corporate sector, your first 2 years matter almost, I would say, 10 times more than what your job role is, that job title is, or your salary. I would say almost 10 times more. The reason being what I talked about a while back. The skills that you are going to acquire in those 2 years are going to help you in your next assignment. For example, you go for interviews, go for a different job, your dream company interviews you are going to try for. And the skills that you have learned here are going to help you there, rather than the role itself. Like, not the role is the title that you have or the salary that you are getting. I know the salaries kind of grow based on your experience, but the skills actually compound much faster. You would have seen how AI is booming right now. So if you have AI skills, you can see how much salaries they are getting if you have those skills, if you have acquired those skills. So it doesn't matter if someone has, say, more experience, say 15 years, 20 years of experience, but someone else has those AI skills which are booming right now, they are getting paid much more than that. So the skills that you are going to learn during those early 2 years are something that are going to compound pretty fast. Number three, I'm going to be talking about four truths, right? So number three is these skills that compound faster than your salary is not actually true all the time. Like, I would say, if you don't acquire those skills, I have seen a lot of people who get stuck and saying that, this is my first job and I have stuck here. I started, for example, I'm just giving an example of a lot of my friends and colleagues that started in sales, and then they didn't want to, but they had to start in sales, and they had to continue in that sales journey. So they had to become, sales manager, area and regional manager, whatever. So they had to use that same ladder, but they didn't like sales, but they had just taken that initial job in sales. So now the reason they were not able to push beyond that niche, and they felt stuck, even now they feel stuck even after working for so many years, is they couldn't acquire skills. So skills, if you acquire them, they are going to help you move out from that initial first job, I would say, syndrome of being in a different domain that you don't like. And number four, the final one that I felt I should talk about, is the early mistakes that we make during that career is something that doesn't destroy your career. Like in your early career, if you make any mistakes or all that, but if you get stagnated there, definitely that is going to destroy your career. What do I mean by that, and what I feel is, if you have made early mistakes, you got a job that you didn't like, you went to a company or a domain that you don't like, it's fine. That is not going to destroy your career if you look at it. But if you get stagnated there, this is my job, I go and come back home and don't do anything after that, that is going to kind of destroy your career. I can talk much more on this, but like, these are high level, the four things that the truths I feel I should have known when I started with my first job, but I'm sharing it with you so that if you are feeling stuck at your current job in your early career or in your careers, or you are a student and you are trying to get to a job right now. So at the end, I would just like to say that you should stop overthinking about your first job. I would just say, don't overthink too much about your first job. Treat it as just an entry ticket. You want to have that entry ticket to get to a corporate setup and in a job market. Just treat it as an entry ticket and not your destination. Your destination is far away. It depends on how many skills you acquire, how much efforts you take from the time you enter that corporate ladder. But your first job is just your entry ticket. If you have any questions, feel free to put in the comments.